All right, guys, as you can see, I have this beautiful Dieffenbachia plant here. This is the Dieffenbachia panther, and I've actually been wanting one of these for a while. The last couple times that I've seen them, they were at a local garden center and also at Lowe's. So yesterday I stopped by another Lowe's location in hopes to find one of these, and this was actually the last one that they had. It was on the outside of the garden center, and as you can see, it's pretty battered. A lot of the leaves are ripped up. This leaf down here is yellowing. So most of the bottom leaves are damaged, but there's a lot of good new growth on the top. And if you're not familiar with Dieffenbachias, Dieffenbachias shoot off new leaves quite often. As you can see, there's a new leaf coming out right here on the top and another one under here. So usually at Lowe's, when the plants are pretty bad like this, you can either ask for a discount or they might already have them on the clearance rack for 50% off. So this plant was $19.98 and they gave me 50% off on it. So I got it for $9.99. All of this is new growth, perfect leaves. So what I'm going to do is show you what I do from beginning to end when I rescue a plant. And some of these steps I use for any plant that I bring home for the first time. The first thing that I'm going to do is spray it down with the water hose for any pest that might exist on the plant. So here I have a spiral water hose that I got from Walmart. And what I did was I just put this sprayer on the end of it, and you have different settings on here. So what I like to do is put it on the shower setting. Sometimes I would put it on a jet setting, but I don't really want to put it on jet setting right now because it's a little bit too strong and I don't want to break the leaves. So the shower setting is going to be just perfect. Okay, I think that's enough. Also, if the plant is already watered, you might want to put a plastic bag around it so it doesn't get too much water in the soil to where the plant gets root rot. But I was very gentle about watering it just now, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Plus, it's going to be outside, so the heat out here will dry out the soil quickly. The next thing I'm going to do is just go in and start pruning off the damaged leaves. I know some people are picky about pruning off leaves, but in this case, there's way too many damaged leaves, and I'm very familiar with this type of plant, and I know that it's going to shoot off new leaves fairly quickly. So sometimes it's good to prune your plants, even if they're not damaged, because it promotes new growth, makes the plant a lot fuller. So you want to go in about here. Also, another thing you might want to do when you're dealing with Dieffenbachias is to wear gloves, because the sap from this Dieffenbachia plant is poisonous and it can cause irritation to your skin. You don't want to put your hands in your mouth or your eyes. I'm going to wash my hands right afterwards, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it without gloves this time, but I just want to warn you guys. I sprayed these pruners with a mixture of alcohol, water, and dish soap just to get off any germs or bacteria that was on them. already, so you might want to do that also before you prune your plants. This is a pretty big leaf, but I'm still going to cut it off. And you might notice I'm only pruning down to here, okay? Because the new leaves come out of the existing leaf. And you could see that right here. This is a perfectly good leaf right here. And there's a new leaf coming out right here. Also, you see that sap? That's the sap that I'm talking about that's poisonous, that you want to be careful for, not to touch. All right, everything else is looking pretty good. This one has a little damage, but I think I'm gonna leave it because for the most part, this leaf is fine. This one down here, I think I'm gonna go ahead and prune it. And I think I'm done here as far as the pruning goes. Look how much plant is still left once I prune those leaves. So when you go to the store and you see a plant that's damaged, don't just rule it out, because a lot of times once you prune off those dead leaves, you still have a nice amount of leaves left. And with the right care, the plant will grow into a nice full plant like it was from the beginning. So always look at the plant and see if there's enough new growth on it as opposed to the dead leaves, and see if it's worth rescuing. But as you can see, the plant has a lot of nice leaves on it now, even though I pruned off all the dead leaves. And the next thing I'm going to do is just go in with some insecticidal soap. This is the Bonide Captain Jack's insecticidal super soap. It kills whiteflies, aphids, scales, spider mites, and thrips. And I'm just going to go in and spray all the leaves and the stems. I'm also spraying in the crevice of the new leaf because certain insects like mealybugs like to hide out in crevices. This plant in particular is going to be outside, so I'm not too worried because I spray my plants outside pretty often. When I water them, I like to spray the leaves. So this is also by Bonide. You can get this off of Amazon. I actually have both of these in my Amazon storefront. The link is in the description box, but they also sell this at Walmart, I believe, and Home Depot. I usually get the insecticidal soap from Home Depot. So what I'm gonna do is just put some of this inside of the soil, and this is gonna eventually penetrate the leaves and the stems of the plant. So if there's any insects in the plant, if it bites the plant, the insect will end up dying off. It takes about 5 days to be effective, but you wanna do this as soon as you get the plant. After, you wanna water the soil. Since this soil is already wet, I'm just gonna lightly water it. I'm just doing this by eye. There's actually a measurement that they suggest that you follow, but I use this all the time, so I just go in. Not much at all, because like I said, it's already wet and I don't want to cause any root rot. Since the soil in this plant was already wet, I wait to repot it, and I'll most likely pot it up into a pot that size. It's about 2 inches larger than what the nursery pot is. But for now, I'm just gonna sit it inside of it. Here's a look at the plant before I did the rehab. This is when I saw it inside of Lowe's. And as you can see, it had quite a lot of damaged leaves on the bottom. But on the top, there were a lot of good new leaves. So this is the plant before I brought it home. And here's the after. Overall, the plant looks great, and I would encourage you to check out your clearance section in case there are any plants worth rescuing, and also always check the other plants in the store to see if there's any that have damage that you think might be worth saving, because usually at the big box stores they will give you a discount. I also want to add that you always want to check your roots to make sure there isn't any root rot, and if there is, to what extent, because there still may be enough good roots that you are able to salvage that part of the plant. Let me know in the comments if you've rescued a plant lately and what that plant was. Also, if you have any tips about rescuing plants that you'd like to add, leave those down in the comments as well. Also, do you have a Dieffenbachia panther in your collection? If you like this video and you'd like to see more just like it, make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and share for more plant-related videos. Until next time, thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.